NASA on Monday named the 4 astronauts who will fly to the moon by the end of next year, including 1 woman and 3 men. The 3 Americans and 1 Canadian were introduced during a ceremony in Houston, home to the nation's astronauts as well as mission control. "This is humanity's crew," said NASA Administrator Bill Nelson. The 4 astronauts will be the first to fly NASA's Orion capsule, launching atop a Space Launch System rocket from Kennedy Space Center no earlier than late 2024. They will not land or even go into lunar orbit, but rather fly around the moon and head straight back to Earth, a prelude to a lunar landing by 2 others a year later. The mission's commander, Reed Wiseman, will be joined by Victor Glover, an African-American naval aviator, Christina Koch, who holds the world record for the longest spaceflight by a woman, and Canada's Jeremy Hansen. All are space veterans except Hansen. "This is a big day. We have a lot to celebrate, and it's so much more than the 4 names that have been announced," said Glover. This is the first moon crew to include a woman and someone not from the US, and the first crew in NASA's new moon program named Artemis. Late last year, an empty Orion capsule flew to the moon and back in a long-awaited dress rehearsal. During Apollo, NASA sent 24 astronauts to the moon from 1968 through 1972. 12 of them landed. All were military-trained test pilots except for Apollo 17's Harrison Schmitt, a geologist who closed out that moon-landing era alongside the late Gene Cernan. Provided this next 10-day moonshot goes well, NASA aims to land 2 astronauts on the moon by 2025 or so. NASA picked from 41 active astronauts for its first Artemis crew. Canada had 4 candidates.